scamming. Tell them show where you at. You owe them people over in Dubai that money. Tell them get on live right now. And he owe people in Saudi Arabia money too.
I already signed. My first contract is signed for a immediate rematch in the case of a draw or if I win. So I'm already contractually signed to a rematch. It's on him. I hope we can get it done because I want to show the world again that that wasn't a fluke.
From a locked-in rematch clause guaranteeing a Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach sequel to Tank going off on social media, claiming the contract is fake, the boxing world is on fire once again. Get this. After weeks of dodging, brushing off the rematch talk, and even teasing retirement, Tank is now straight up calling out Lamont Roach for tricking him.
First of all, Floyd don't never want to see no one like a fighter do better than them. How the say Terrence Crawford should fight Benavidez? That don't make no fucking sense. You don't never want to see nobody be better than him. I'm telling you.
Who's next in line? Just so you're next in line.
Is there like
The last question, guys. Is there
like a love-hate or like
Yeah,
love the fighter?
yeah, I love the fighter. Like, I ain't gonna lie, if he was like chill, like he'll be the smoothest. But he's not. You know what I mean? He's a great fighter. And my bad.
Oh, you're good, man.
And he cause I don't want to say like he's just a scumbag, but it's like he's a great fighter, and sometimes he can be good, but it's like it's always I'm this.
Yeah, you heard that right. He's trying to claim there was never a real rematch clause in their fight contract. But here's the thing. The paperwork says otherwise.
Suck my honestly. That's it. I come here to do what I gotta do, man. I really have self motivation, and on top of that, I have real people who really genuinely support me, who really care, who really want to see me win, who are really behind me. So you know what I'm saying? All the negativity really don't get to me. Like I don't care. Like I can have a handful of words for them. For real, that's it.
Is there anything you want to say to those haters who, continually say you're too small, too weak, this and that?
Uh, you need a censor for what I need to say to them.
We'll put it in the door.
Yeah, suck my honestly. That's it. Especially the ones who don't know about boxing. It's okay. Like other than that, it is what it is.
The fight world is coming for Tank, with big names like Stephen A. Smith and Joe Rogan breaking down the contract. And now, Lamont's lawyers may have just found the ultimate loophole. Tank is backed into a corner, but instead of owning up to it, he's making it worse with this so-called fake rematch clause nonsense. So what's really going on? Is Gervonta trying to escape the fight that could expose him? Or is this whole rematch clause situation actually more complicated than we think? Let's break it all down.
I told him this real. He talking about he gonna stop me. He know damn well that gonna happen. I told him to bring a pillow.
Now, tomorrow, fans are going to be tuning in and watching this fight between you and Tank. What are fight fans going to learn tomorrow night about Lamont Roach?
And I'm one of the best fighters in the world. Can't wait for y'all to see it. That's all I gotta say.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for the Reaper, Lamont Roach.
Before the big showdown between Lamont Roach and Gervonta Davis, Lamont himself spilled the tea. He was locked into an immediate rematch clause in the contract. And here's the kicker. The clause was set in stone in case of a draw or a Roach victory.
I feel like you got a certain confidence about this fight that I've interviewed a few different Tank opponents. Everybody gonna say like, yeah, everybody say this, and that's what you're supposed to say, right? Like I'm going into a fight. I don't think people thinking they're gonna lose, but it just feels like you have a different confidence than most other people. Where do you feel like that comes from?
That's just how I'm wired, bro. I ain't never backed down from nothing. I damn sure ain't never wanted to come second to anything. So, why would it change here?
Now, Lamont made it crystal clear that this wasn't anything out of the ordinary. Every champ throws in a rematch clause, especially when the stakes are high. It's a power move, a way to protect their belts and run it back if things don't go their way. And for someone like Gervonta, who's been at the top of the game, it made perfect sense for him to demand one.
And I'm going to prove myself that I'm the best.
Is that a rematch clause if you beat him?
Yes,
or
of course.
if he beats you, there's
Every champion should have a rematch clause. We're fighting for his belt, so I'm pretty sure I would throw a rematch clause in there too.
If you beat Tank, who do you like to fight next?
Tank. That's a rematch clause.
But here's where it gets messy. This clause wasn't just for Lamont. Turns out, Tank is bound by it too. And now, that changes everything. Gervonta can't just run away from a rematch or keep dodging questions about a second fight. The contract isn't just a one-way street. It forces both fighters to step back into the ring under the same conditions.
I just so happen to be a boxing fan that the fact that I do watch him fight, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really like boxing.
Are you open to immediate rematch?
In my contract, immediate rematch was signed. I signed for the immediate rematch when I signed for the first fight.
Right.
Just in case he lost or just in case it was a draw.
So when you got a rematch clause, how long we take it?
It's up to the A side and when they want to fight. So I'm thinking it's going to be soon. I'm hoping it's going to be soon. Let's say that.
What is soon to you? When you say soon to me, I'm thinking a month.
I'm thinking July.
I'm thinking July for sure.
So now that Tank barely scraped by with a draw, he doesn't get to cherry-pick his next move. This rematch clause has him locked in, and no amount of Twitter rants or retirement talk is gonna get him out of this one.
25 is at the next year. I'm out of it.
After our second fight.
You're out of it?
Yeah,
Care to elaborate on that?
out of the sport.
After our second fight. Nah, no, I'm gonna win, bro.
Nah, I could tell you my fights.
At the post-fight press conference, Gervonta kept it real. He wasn't about to jump into an immediate rematch with Lamont Roach.
Do you want that rematch next? And if so, how likely it is that we're to see that fight happen again this year?
I'm not sure, bro. I'm definitely not sure, but hopefully we could get it before. Nah, it probably won't be this year.
Is that the one you want next?
It's definitely the one I want next, but it's not gonna be next.
What is?
You might see it in a minute. Definitely might see it in a minute.
Tank straight up said he had other names on his hit list before even considering running it back with Roach. Maybe later in the year, maybe after a couple of fights, but not right now. He made it sound like he was in control, like he had options, and that he could move at his own pace before revisiting the Roach situation. But here's where things take a wild turn. Lamont's lawyers weren't having it. The moment they started digging into the fine print of the fight contract, they found something that flipped the script. Gervonta wasn't just expected to fight Lamont again. He was legally obligated to.
Cards, judge at the ringside. Eric Marlinski scores it on 115 to 113 in favor of Gervonta Davis. Judges Steve Weisfeld and Glenn Feldman both scores about 114 to 114, even a draw. The decision is a majority draw.
That's right. Tank has no choice but to step in the ring for a second fight. No tune-ups, no sidesteps, no cherry-picking his next opponent. The rematch clause isn't just some optional deal, it is binding, and Gervonta is officially trapped. And just like clockwork, Tank is doing what he does best, going off on social media. Instead of taking this rematch like a true athlete, he's throwing a full-blown tantrum online, calling out Lamont Roach for tricking him into the rematch clause. He is out here acting like he got set up, claiming that he wasn't fully aware of the terms and that Lamont's team pulled a fast one on him. But let's be real, Tank signed that contract. He knew what he was getting into. This isn't some random street fight. This is big-time boxing, where every contract is airtight. The only problem is that Gervonta never thought he'd be on the losing side of it.
That's what I'm supposed to. You bring your mother? She right there. You ain't hear it? Why you bring her? Cause she love to see me whoop ass. I told him leave his mom's and, the people home, and he still brung them. You better leave them home. You throw my money. Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's gonna get bad. It's gonna get bad, man. Yeah, you ain't too shy saying what you gonna do, right? I am now. You are now? Yeah. Going Saturday. Yeah, I know.
Tank can say whatever he wants, but the truth is, he can't escape this rematch anymore. The contract doesn't lie, and neither do the fight rules. If there's a rematch clause, then it has to happen, unless Lamont Roach decides to step aside, which, let's be honest, he's not doing that.
Hopefully, after I win, I can defend both. I want to unify, or, if we do a rematch, then we could do that.
And why would he? Lamont knows he should have walked out of that fight with a win. The fans know it, the analysts know it, and even the New York State Athletic Commission admitted that things went wrong in that fight. So why would Lamont give up the chance to set the record straight?
Clearly in there, man. I thought I won. I thought I did enough to get the victory over a spectacular fighter. I told y'all from the beginning, man, that I got the skills to pay the bills. I've been telling y'all that. And I'm just glad I got to show it, honestly. I'm glad I got to show it. I appreciate, like I said before, I appreciate True Boxing Media. Some guys that didn't count me out. So that's just how I feel, man. I think I won. And, I can't wait to do it again. I can't wait to dance again.
The reality is, Tank is cornered. If he refuses this rematch, he's going to look like the biggest fraud in boxing. He's already dodging fights with Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson. And now he's going to duck the one guy who already gave him trouble. It's not a good look at all.
I'm better than him at hit and don't be hit, and he can't beat me. Once again, Tank's style, he's a power puncher. He's a guy that's trying to knock you out. I'm a guy that's trying to break you down, pick you apart, win. If the knockout comes, it comes. So two different styles, but I'm better than him at the art of boxing.
And obviously, you and Tank have your disses here and there, but you kind of alluded to it a couple of seconds ago. Is there deep down respect for each other?
I got respect for his game. I don't got respect for the person. I think he's a clown.
Meanwhile, Lamont Roach is already locked in for the rematch and wasting zero time. This rematch clause calls for an immediate run back, meaning we won't have to wait any longer than a month or two for it to go down. And Lamont? He's ready. And Lamont just set the record straight. Steve Willis will not be the referee this time around.
You know, obviously the part with the grease in the eye, that took on a life of its own. You know what I'm saying? That was a headline in the fight. One is, what did you think when he said that initially, just like the grease in the eye? But two is like, when you was in the fight, was there any point that you saw that? Like, did you see like him kind of messing with his eye, or did you have any indication that that was something that was bothering him?
No, see, and that's the thing. If you look at the whole fight, he was never bothering his eyes before
you jabbed him.
Before I jabbed him. Even that right hand that, like, you know what I'm saying, that kind of landed, he kind of rolled with it. But after that, you could see him wipe his eye. And then, right after I hit him with the jab, you could see him wipe his other eye. So it's like, it was corresponding to which hand that I punched him with and exactly which eye. So it's like crazy for him to say, it's grease in my eye. And I think even when he say that, you could see me, because I'm right beside him, you could see me like, nigga, what you talking about? So,
right.
But you say you don't think he willing though.
Yeah, whatever. See, but who cares? Like, sweat gonna get in your eye, blood gonna get in your eye.
Yeah, it don't matter.
Spit fucking around and get in your eye. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like you can be like, all right, time out, ref. Hold on,
Take no
ref.
time out.
You can't do that.
Right. Would you be cool with Steve Willis doing the next fight?
Hell no.
He can't do the next fight.
No, he can't do the next fight.
Right.
No.
Pops, it's a no?
Hell no.
Fuck that.
Fuck, yeah. You know how many Coach Ben on him, man. He lucky he ain't running Coach Ben after that fight.
But look how many times he fucked the fight up though. The knee, him going to the corner to get assistance, like, who knows? Not saying that they did any cheating shit or nothing like that. But like, he wiped his face with a towel. You can't do that.
Right.
You can't do none of that.
Right.
It's a disqualification. You turned your back on the ref after you took a knee. Usually the ref gonna be like, all right, he don't want to fight no more. Fight's off.
Now, if you watch the first fight, you know why this is a big deal. Willis was out there making some of the most questionable calls we've ever seen. But the biggest one? That 9th round. That was the moment the fight world knew something shady was going down. Gervonta took a knee. Yeah, he straight up went down to recover. And Steve Willis let it slide like it never happened.
No, well, honestly, I haven't watched the fight. We had a show that night. I haven't watched the full fight. One thing that's kind of baffling is that it wasn't a knockdown. I mean, look, he wasn't hurt. There's no doubt about that. But if you take a knee in the fight and you touch down, whilst punches are being thrown, it has to be a knockdown. I've heard some people saying, oh, that, you know, he should be disqualified. He went back to the corner. I don't buy that, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that's a warning. But it's a bit of a bizarre situation. For me, like, there was a lot of people in boxing that were saying that this is a really tough fight. Like, Lamont Roach is a serious fighter. I said it might not be the biggest profile fight, but it's actually quite a tough fight. And Shakur said to me, like, even the day before, I'm telling you, he's going to have big trouble tomorrow night. And I just feel like hopefully this could be the little something that gives Gervonta a little wake-up call to take him back to the mindset of maybe where he was.
Now, in any other fight, that's an automatic knockdown. No debate, no second guessing. But with Tank, Willis acted like he didn't see a damn thing. He was favoring Gervonta hard, giving him every possible chance to recover when he should have been counting.
This is my opinion. Sure. It was a great fight. It was a close fight. Depending on what they do with that decision of taking the knee, depending if the commission reverses the decision or I think a draw was meant to be. So I like the draw. No, if you take a knee, man, if you take a knee in the 90s or in 2000, you're taking a point off. That's the bottom line. You're taking a point off. I don't know what happened with the referee. Maybe he was a little starstruck. Maybe he was a little, you know, because he loves Tank. He loves New York. He loves the big lights. You know, the referee with the eyes, you know, he's like, a point should be deducted if you take a knee. It's a fact. It's in the rule book, right? The fact that they didn't take it away, then that's where the controversy is, right? It's not, look, did Gervonta get hit? Was he dazed? Who knows? Only he knows. But what I saw, when you take a knee, that's an automatic point. That's just the rule. This is not basketball. This is not, you know, this is not basketball where Wait, hold on. My ankle hurts. Hold on. Let me take a timeout. You don't take timeouts in boxing. It just doesn't happen. Whether he had something in his eye or not, you have to fight. There's 3 minutes to fight. So if you take a knee, if you go to your corner, I mean, the rules are the rules. And I don't know what New York is gonna settle on, but the rules are the rules.
That moment alone could have changed the whole outcome of the fight, and boxing fans have been screaming rigged ever since.
Can you describe what the feeling was like in the ring? And was it to get the towel out, to get the burn out of your eyes, or what was going on? And
I didn't want to get caught. I didn't want to get caught while my eyes was burning. And you know, like, you can get knocked out like that. So I'd rather take the knee than, you know. But I didn't really know that you can, like, get disqualified for all that. Or, like, when you start counting, I'm like, what the hell? But I don't know. It's cool.
Now that Willis is out of the picture, Lamont is making sure there's no controversy, no favoritism, just a fair fight. Let's be honest, everyone thought Lamont had the easy win. From the moment that final bell rang, boxing fans, analysts, and even some of Tank's biggest supporters were already calling it. Roach had done enough to get the W.
Did you think it was a draw? No. I thought Lamont won. Who you thought won? Lamont. You thought Lamont won? By how many rounds? I don't know. You still want the Tank Davis fight? You said what? You still want the Tank Davis fight? What went wrong? What went wrong? Take out a little steam or fire out of it, or is it still the same?
I mean, we're gonna see. I'm the best fighter in boxing. I've been saying this, so.
Shakur, what went wrong for Gervonta in this fight? Just because, could we say maybe because Lamont didn't come in really?
I think he got overconfident. I think he was thinking Lamont wasn't that good. I told everybody how the fight was gonna go. The fight went exactly how I said. Exactly.
After seeing this performance from Gervonta, do you believe your confidence has gone a little bit more up?
My confidence been up. I've been knew I was the best.
Keyshawn, what's your worst? Shakur, what's your worst for Keyshawn? He just won his first title. Good. Good. It was a close fight. It was a close fight?
I'm not surprised the way Lamont fought. I knew Lamont was going to come to fight. It was an opportunity of a lifetime. He did a good job. He fought a great fight.
What went wrong with Tank Davis? I mean, I was
what was wrong with him? Every night in boxing is not your best, you feel me? But at least you got the draw.
Would you like to see a rematch of this or jump into a fight with Shakur Stevenson?
Whatever they want to do.
Did you think it was a draw?
I don't know. It was a good fight.
Appreciate it, Danny.
And that's exactly why Tank is going to these lengths to avoid running it back. Because deep down, he knows this rematch isn't going to go well for him.
People say Tank didn't really win. They got the majority draw, which means it had to be a close fight, maybe a tough one to call. At the end of the day, when it's a draw like that and an action-packed fight, run it back, I'm pretty sure the fans will watch it one more time.
Should they have called it a knockdown in round 9?
I didn't get to see it, but my one coach said no. A lot of on-takers say yes. I want to watch how it occurred because technically when you take a knee, it's very unfortunate, but if there was some outside factor that did get into his eye, I don't know. You're walking on a gray line, and that's when things aren't necessarily black or white. So it's a tough call, and you don't want one little decision to change the whole fight. But in sports, sometimes it is one thing that a referee does or a judge does that determines who wins and loses. So luckily for him, he did not have such a scenario because obviously the fight was close enough that if the point was deducted, he would have walked away not world champion.
Think about it. Tank barely made it out of the first fight. He took a knee in the 9th round, which should have been ruled a knockdown. He got outboxed, outworked, and outclassed, but the judges handed him a draw. And now, there's no way the boxing world is going to let that slide again.
That people want to discredit Tank, and he's still a pound-for-pound fighter.
Yeah. What do you think about that fight that happened? You thought it was just an off night, or?
Everybody has an off night. Everybody has an off night. Shit, I had a off night with Cruz. Everyone has a off night. It's boxing.
You want to run back with Cruz or what?
Maybe down the line.
Tank has built his whole career on being an unstoppable force, a knockout machine. But in this rematch, he's walking in as the guy who struggled against Lamont Roach. And if he loses, that's the end of the Tank Davis hype train. That's why he's talking about retirement. That's why he's pretending like the rematch clause doesn't exist. It's not because he doesn't want to fight, it's because he doesn't want to lose.
Can you describe what the feeling was like in the ring? And was it to get the towel out of, to get the burn out of your eyes, or what was going on? And
I didn't want to get caught. I didn't want to get caught while my eyes was burning. And you know, like, you can get knocked out like that. So I'd rather take the knee than, you know. But I didn't really know that you can, like, get disqualified for all that. Or, like, when you start counting, I'm like, what the hell? But I don't know. It's cool.
Look, at the end of the day, Tank Davis is running out of options. He can try to dodge the rematch all he wants, but the contract is the contract. The fight world is waiting, Lamont Roach is waiting, and if Tank doesn't show up, his entire career is going to take a massive hit. So, what do y'all think? Is Tank really trying to escape this fight because he knows he'll lose? Or is there more going on behind the scenes? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's talk about it. And if you're loving the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more unfiltered boxing updates. I'll see you in the next video.